Mic'd up. Mic'd up, y'all. My B. Some technical difficulties, but we're in here. All right, we're gonna look at the 2004 draft. This one is also from New York in the Garden. Robert Dozier was the last pick of the last draft. So shout out to Robert Dozier. Um, Played in that 2008 national championship game with Derrick Rose and those guys in Memphis. So shout out to them. We know Dwight Howard was the number one pick. Dwight Howard, I would say this was probably the beginning of my era, like the true beginning of me like really becoming like a basketball guy. Um, Beginning of my high school time, beginning of me like really diving into the basketball thing. I would say a lot of the reason why became important for me because I was like a really bad student and my basketball playing career wasn't going that well after like being like sort of like pretty good at the middle school level. I would say there's probably multiple reasons, but I'm also not the biggest or tallest or anything like that. Um, I never really had the success. So I just followed the guys that, were kind of living the life that I wish I guess I was living. But let's get into it. Dwight Howard, man, well, he went to Southwest Christian Academy. Yeah, Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy. He was really good in high school. He was a plus athlete. He was one of those athletes that was kind of ahead of his time. He was kind of like, I mean, honestly, in a lot of ways, he was kind of like the David Robinson, right? He was like he ushered in a new era of athlete. Like I don't know if the NBA had seen an athlete like Dwight Howard before. I mean, his shoulders, the guy was like an action hero playing basketball. Even to this day, he's still in immaculate shape. I mean, Dwight Howard is a different kind of being. Shout out to anybody watching the live. I might not be able to see some of your comments, so I'll try to log in or something. Hold on. Yeah, Dwight was just a next level athlete, man. Dwight was he was gifted. You know what I mean? Um, he, this was also like the era of people coming from high school, right? So a lot of these guys coming from high school, they weren't coached at the same level as guys who were coming into college, 3 4 years of college, right? That does make a difference. And if you look at it now with the NCAA transfer portal, um if you look at the NCAA transfer portal, like even the way the coaches were talking about it now, like it's easier to get a kid who has multiple years of experience because they're able to help you faster, right? It's just the way it is with that transfer portal. Like, so a lot of people aren't as worried about trying to get like these like super prospects, right? So Dwight Howard comes in and he's definitely one of the greatest players of all time. A lot of people were a little bit sad that he was snubbed on that might be let me lower the sound. But a lot of people were like a little frustrated that he was snubbed on the he was snubbed on that top 75 team. And I could understand where people felt like, listen, Dwight Howard has got to be one of the 75 best players of all time. I mean, I saw Tracy McGrady. He was saying that he felt like Dwight Howard should have been on that list. Took his team to the NBA Finals. Dwight Howard was what, four-time Defensive Player of the Year. Appreciate the like. Oh, I could see it now. Okay, cool. I was trying to log in, but yeah, I could see. What's up, Josiah? How you doing? How you doing? Where you from? Um, yeah, I mean, Dwight was let me know if you like Dwight was he was just next level, man. The guy was next level. Series. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Dwight was next level, you know. Probably in what, eight-time All-Star, maybe, four-time Defensive Player of the Year. Um, well, let's see how many all defensive teams Dwight Howard made. I'll have to guess. I would say eight. You know, I mean, you can't. Let's see how many all defensive. Five all-time all defensive first teams, one all defensive second team, two all defensive third team. So nine. Nine. Wait, no. Oh, no, no, no. Four all defensive first teams, one second and one third. So seven. Seven all defensive teams. Seven all defensive teams, eight all-star teams, five all NBA first teams, and an all NBA second team. Led the league in rebounding five times, led the league in blocks twice, was defensive player of the year three times. Sheesh. Like, yeah. I mean, those are gargantuan numbers. Like, there's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that are not even close, right? So Dwight ushered in a new era of NBA basketball. Super athletic. Um, he was like the ultimate lob threat. You know what I mean? Like, he would honestly be the perfect role player in today's game, but I feel like he would probably need the ball a little bit more than your like typical role player. Um, but if he would have, I think toward the end of his career, if you notice, he did expand his game out to the three. But yeah, great shot blocker. Emeka Okafor, or as us Nigerians would say, Emeka Okafor. Mr. Okafor. Um, UConn national title guy. Yeah, I appreciate, and anybody in here, feel free to if you like the video, feel free to subscribe. Try to post shorts, and also try to jump live. You can look back at some of the other lives, looking at drafts, telling stories of different players and things like that, and some other things on the horizon as well with this channel. So yeah, Mecca Okafor, I would say a solid offensive player, um, defensive specialist, um, really good player, very smart individual, and seemed like a quality human being, like a decent person. Um, Won a national title at the University of Connecticut playing for Jim Calhoun, the legendary Jim Calhoun. Played with Ben Gordon, Talik Brown, I think, was on that team. Rashad Anderson, you know what I mean? Like, that was a legendary UConn team. As there are many legendary UConn teams, they just won two national championships in a row. Jim Calhoun even took I forgot the particular school, but they were Division III school. Took them to the national title. I'm not sure if they won it or not, but he literally turned the program around. Interestingly enough, we played. If you look, yo, what's up, Robert? Robot. Where you from? How you doing? We played in a tournament. If you look at the Osgood shootout, yeah, feel free to watch the shorts. The Osgood shootout was one of our videos. It was a tournament we played in Connecticut. I believe the school was maybe St. Michael's, and one of the kids that played in that tournament against us played for Jim Calhoun's team. I don't know if he was coached under Jim Calhoun. I'm not sure if Jim Calhoun was still coaching at that time, but I imagine if he was like a junior, senior, and upperclassman like that, he probably played for Jim Calhoun. What's up, I Cruz? Get a 9 to 5. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. I need to make some more money. I respect that though. Um, how old do I look? How old do I look? I Wilma is. Wait, what does ONG mean? Wilma. Wilma. No, who's Wilma? Who's Wilma? Um, who's Wilma? Hey, I appreciate you, Josiah. That's what you means. Not sure. Not sure. Um, Ben Gordon. Yeah, Ben Gordon also played with Okafor. Appreciate you, Josiah. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, trying to grow, trying to grow the channel. Anybody who wants to subscribe, definitely feel free to. Trying to well round just period in life period. Um Ben Gordon, New York guy, you know, national champion at the University of Connecticut. Um Big time college player, good athlete, really good scorer. Kind of like an undersized two guard, not really a point guard, but so they kind of brought him off the bench. I kind of would say he was kind of like oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. That's what it means. Got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Um trying to land a new gig. So, I may not be doing as much of these, but um yeah, he was a really good player for the Chicago Bulls. Um he was really good with Kirk Heinrich, Luau Dang, um that like core, you know what I mean? Thibodeau, um, had I don't know if Thibodeau was a coach in the beginning, but like, that core was really good. They kind of, hey, enjoy your night, enjoy your night, enjoy the trip to Walmart. Yeah, that core was good. They were like a tough core. They were a little bit smaller on the backcourt, but good team, hard-nosed defensive team that really went after it. They were good in the playoffs. I feel like them and Washington had some like good playoff battles. And Ben Gordon was just a good player. He was clutch. He was unique. You know what I mean? I feel like he played in a time where you kind of had to have more of a position. And I feel like a guy like stay prayed up, yo, Proverbs 4. Um like Donovan Mitchell, is a beneficiary of the era change. You know what I mean? He's a beneficiary of the era change. And I would say Dwayne Wade probably had something to do with that. He was like the originator of the combo guard position. I feel like there wasn't really combo guards in the same way before Dwayne Wade. As I mentioned in the last video, we spoke on 2003 draft. You can go check that one out. Um, Dwayne Wade being about 6'4", or they measured him at 6'3" and 3/4 in the draft. So that 6'4" ish range guy didn't he didn't have to exclusively be a point guard, even though they played him mostly at the point guard in his rookie year. Um, Him, Antoine Walker, and those guys. Sean Livingston. Wow, man, this really takes me back. Sean Livingston, bigger point guard, probably like 6'6" or so, from Peoria High School. Um, Peoria is where Bradley University is, the Bradley Braves. Um, he had originally signed to go to Duke, but ended up not going there, which was relatively common for guys at this time. They would sign with a school just in case, if they felt like they wouldn't get drafted, and then he ended up going to the NBA. Unique player, big point guard, really good passer. Really good passer was Sean Livingston. Um, One of those guys that was a winner, won with Golden State. Let's see how many titles Sean Livingston had. I would say at least one title, if not multiple titles. Um, 3 titles. Yeah, played in the early 2000s Clippers era. 2015 with the Warriors. Yeah, won 3 titles with the Warriors. Heck of a career. Played almost like 15 seasons. So, pretty good career for Sean Livingston, especially if you remember early in his career, he had a gruesome injury to his leg. His knee just like, it was bad. Honestly, like, you probably don't want to watch it if you've seen it. It was bad. It was really bad. Um um Devin Harris. Devin Harris, another good guard, from Wisconsin. Really good player in college. Um, quick guard. He was about 6'3" ish, in that range. Um, really enjoyed watching him in college at Wisconsin. Um, yeah, that Big Ten basketball. He was a good player. I felt like he had some good years in the NBA, particularly for Dallas. Good player. I feel like he was really good in the mid range, and he was really good getting to the rim. He was also a pretty good athlete as well, long arms. Just a good basketball player. I really enjoyed watching him in college. Good basketball player. Good NBA player as well. I believe he probably played for the Nets also. Let's see. Did he play for the? Yeah, he played for the Nets. played in the league for about 15 seasons. So really good player. I really like Devin Harris. Josh Childress. Interesting player, interesting person. Um, right, he's a Stanford guy. I want to say he's from Compton. I want to say he's from Compton. I know he's a California dude, but I want to say he's from Compton. He went to Mayfair, which I believe was a good high school. And yeah, so he grew up in Compton. Yeah, so like that's pretty cool for a dude from Compton to go to Stanford. You know what I mean? Like that in itself is an accomplishment just in life. Um he was a good player. He was probably again one of those guys maybe a little ahead of his time, like a 3 and D guy before it was popular to be that. Um long arms, long wingspan type of guy. Had some good years with Atlanta, and he made that interesting move to go overseas. Basically in his prime, it was a rare, it was a rare thing. He decided he wanted to do something different, and decided to go overseas. And I believe now I think he does real estate now. I think he's a real estate guy now. But Josh Children, man, he had that afro. He had like his own. He had his own style. And like I said, to come from Compton to go to Stanford, that in itself is an accomplishment. Luau Dang. Another guy really takes me back to that era. Luau Dang played at Blair Academy, New Jersey. Him and Royale Ivy. And then if you look at the current day, look at current day, him and Royale Ivy were running that South Sudan team, right? Um, that South Sudan team that won a game in the Olympics, right? They had Carly Jones, they had Wayne and Gabriel, um, some other players who had NBA experience as well. So shout out to Luau Dang. Um, I know he reps for the United Kingdom. I know he reps for South Sudan, and he's a dude that definitely gave back. He's my African brother. A lot of those African dudes, I like to see them giving back. Him, Matumbo, Dikembe Matumbo. What's up, Mayor Mayor Raga? How you doing? Where you from? Thanks for coming on. We're discussing the 2004 draft. We did the 2003 draft previously. This 2004 was one of my favorite drafts. It was just one that really was really just ushered in my NBA or my basketball era, period, where I was like really into the game. Um, I like this draft overall. Luau Dang, one of the multi-time All Stars. Devin Harris, uh, he was an All Star as well. Yeah, Devin Harris was an All Star. Luau Dang was an All Star. Oops, I don't know what I did right there. But draft had Dwight Howard was obviously an All Star. This draft had some good players. It was a really good player as well. Um, Julio, I feel like I remember him more on. Did he play for Denver? I don't want to say he played for Denver. Played for Utah. Okay, Utah. Yeah, Played about 3 seasons in the NBA. Good Brazilian player, good Brazilian career. Um, one of the multiple Brazilians in the Nene. Um, and other Brazilians. Thiago Splitter. Wasn't Thiago Splitter from Brazil as well? So it was a good era for Brazilian basketball. Um, uh, yeah, Thiago Splitter from Brazil. Um, wow, he's another guy. We yeah, a lot of good players from Brazil. We discussed the Brazilian point guard from last draft. Um, Brazilian NBA players. Leandro Barbosa, right? So Brazil produced some really good players. Um, if a, a name for people to look up was Oscar. Oscar, one of the greatest players of all time. Didn't play in the NBA, but heavily respected all time. Probably a Hall of Famer, I believe. Kobe really respected him as well. Andre Iguodala, another All Star from this draft. University of Arizona. They had a really good team with him, Hassan Adams, Mustafa Shakur, Salim Stoudemire. Like this was my era of like I love this era of college basketball. Big time athlete. Um, Big time athlete from the Illinois area. Um, Trying to remember the exact area he was from in Illinois. Springfield, Springfield, Illinois. Um, Springfield, Illinois, where President Obama kind of uh, got his start. Um, one of the dudes that I went to school with, um, I believe he played against Andre Iguodala, and obviously Andre Iguodala was really good, really good player from that era. Andre Iguodala did a great job in the dunk contest, was super athletic, great teammate, multi-time champion with Golden State. So Andre Iguodala was really good career. Played in the NBA for a really long time. I believe he just retired last season. So played what maybe like almost 20 seasons. And it's not that easy to play that many seasons when you're more of a role player. It's a lot easier when you're like Vince Carter or like somebody with like a LeBron, like somebody with like a massive name. So shout out to Andre Iguodala, just played on a lot of teams, all defensive guy, NBA All Star, 4-time champion. Just a great NBA career, that guy. Luke Jackson, big time college basketball player at Oregon. Um, in my head, I want to say he was like a lefty. Played with Cleveland. You know, one of those guys definitely from that era. Feel like he was a shooter. You know, and every time I see shooters, I feel like those guys should have I feel like those guys should have would have benefited from playing in this era. Andres Biedringe, really good defender. I feel like um, mainly like I would say like a rebounder, like a really good rebounder. Long, kind of thinner frame, big man. Had a good career. Um, Did he play with the Pelicans? Stay prayed up, y'all. Um, Mostly with Golden State. Okay, and Golden State and Utah. Andre Adrians. This is another guy who takes me back. Robert Swift. Robert Swift definitely took me back. Robert Swift, man, that guy. Good athlete. Definitely one of those guys who makes you remember that one and done era. You know, it's not. It wasn't that easy to be like a 18-year-old kid coming into a man's sport, especially back then. Like I feel like the teams were a little bit older back then, right? But you did have more vets. You did have more vets that could kind of help you. Um, Good athlete. Feel like he probably did well in the McDonald's game, which probably helped him to be able to solidify his spot as a first round pick, number 12. Came to the Seattle Supersonics. This was toward, you know, anybody who remembers Seattle Supersonics, that was an era. This was probably during the like Ray Allen time. Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis, Luke Rittenauer, um, good team. A lot of shooting on that team. Yeah. Robert Swift. He was also of Japanese descent. I believe he was part Japanese, maybe half Japanese, and I feel like he had a good career in Japan and did a lot of good things for the Japanese community. So shout out to one of the Japanese players playing in the NBA. Shout out to the Asian community playing in the NBA. Yeah, played several years in Japan. Oh, played a little bit in Japan, and I feel like he finished up in Spain. Uh, this is another name that will take you back, but Sebastian Telfair. Um, Super New York City, right? Cousin of Stephon Marbury, Zach Marbury, NBA guys. His brother played in the NBA as well. Sebastian Telfair's brother. He committed to Louisville. But ended up not going, and you know that's part of the reason why Rajon Rondo ended up going to Kentucky. Um, I believe Rondo probably would have went to Louisville. He might be from the area, so that was probably like the school that he probably wanted to go to play per Rick Pitino. But Rondo ended up going to Kentucky, which wasn't bad either way. I mean, Kentucky is Kentucky, right? So can't be mad at that. Um, I feel like it was probably the next year Louisville ended up getting Andre McGee. If anybody remembers Andre McGee, he was like a smaller point guard, compact point guard, but big time high school recruit. Shout out to Andre McGee. Yeah, Sebastian Telfair. If you remember that through the everybody remembers through the fire, that documentary that was documenting him and his time trying to make it to the NBA. Sebastian Telfair, I probably had that Slam magazine with him and LeBron on the cover. I followed him a lot. He got that Adidas deal coming into the NBA. There was a lot of hoopla around Sebastian Telfair. Um, wasn't the biggest guard, but quick guard from that time. People may have their opinions on how his career went, but shout out to Sebastian Telfair, high school legend, New York City legend, one of those guards that I feel like people will always remember in New York City lore, in New York City basketball. Not sure if he was the leading scorer before Lance Stevenson took over. Lance Stevenson also went to Lincoln. If I didn't mention, he went to Lincoln High School. Stephon Marbury went there. Uh, Lance Stevenson also went there. So all of those guards, big time on New York City, Brooklyn Knights, Coney Island. Shout out to Coney Island. Chris Humphreys. Um, People probably know him for some of the stuff off the court. You know, being a bit of a celebrity because of his dating life, right? I remember Chris Humphreys had a good year at Minnesota. His 1 year, probably averaged like a double double. Did a really good job rebounding. He's a Minnesota guy, so played for the hometown team in the University of Minnesota in that Big Ten. I feel like he was like perfectly suited for the Big Ten. Strong guy, good rebounder, solid NBA player. Um, Played in the NBA for a while, so Chris Humphreys was a good player in this draft. I feel like that's a good value pick at the number 14 spot. Here at the end of the lottery, Al Jefferson, man, big time contract. He had a big contract. Um, One of the better players of his era. Never made the All Star team, but he was a guy who could rebound. He was a guy, got you on the lower block, went to his left shoulder, can consistently score. Strong dude, Mississippi dude. He probably averaged like 40 points a game or something like that in high school. Like, I could look it up, but he was like scoring like crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So see, his senior year with the Bulldogs in Mississippi, he averaged 42.6 points and 18 rebounds, 7 blocks per game. You know what I mean? Like I remember that he was insane in high school, insane. Like probably just like an automatic bucket. You know what I mean? And he got to the NBA and he was getting buckets too. Um, got that big contract, probably like $100 million contract with the Charlotte Bobcats and Michael Jordan and all those guys. Um, was a guy who could really, really score inside. Good player with the T Wolves, good player with the Bobcats slash Hornets. Was an All NBA guy, All NBA third team. Yeah, a lot of these guys played in that McDonald's All American game in '04. Man, this is the era. Kirk Schneider. Kirk Schneider, man. He was uh he was your two guard, could shoot the ball, solid athlete. I feel like Nevada basketball was on a heater. Like it was like a good era for Nevada basketball. I feel like Luke Babbitt went to Nevada a few years later. Luke Babbitt was a McDonald's All American, super high recruit. You know, you usually don't have super high recruits like that going to the. I believe they're in the WAC conference, the WAC Western Athletic Conference. Not WAC as in like not good, but the Western Athletic Conference. So yeah, Kirk Snyder, man, good player, good athlete, drafted by Utah. Probably was in the league for about like 5 years or so. Probably had some good years. Uh, Jay Smooth, man. Jay Smooth, Josh Smith, man. Um, Georgia boy. I believe he played on the Atlanta Celtics with a Atlanta Celtics AAU team with Dwight Howard. They played AAU together. Um, if I'm not mistaken, Jonathan Hargett. I feel like Jonathan. If anybody remembers Jonathan Hargett, who went to West Virginia, was another guy. I think he played on the Atlanta Celtics as well. Jonathan Hargett was a big time recruit coming out of high school. Um, yeah, Josh Smith, man, he was a lefty. Super athlete, super like long arms, could block shots, weak side shot blocker. In transition, he was a dunk waiting to happen. He posterized a lot of dudes in the NBA. Had some really good years, averaging double figures for the Atlanta Hawks. You know, he liked to shoot the three, but was at his best when he was slashing to the rim. Like he was like one of the top slashers in the NBA at this time, and a really good shot blocker, weak side man, because the athleticism, especially jumping off that right foot. He was a pogo stick coming off that right foot, man. Dude was an athlete and a half. Played at Oak Hill. Um, he was destined to be, a top pick. Um, Played at Oak Hill with Rajon Rondo, right? Played with Rondo, but Rondo went to college and he went straight to the league. This guy, number 18th pick, Earl Smith Jr., also known or better known, more commonly known as J.R. Smith. Man, J.R. Smith, he's from like the Freehold area in New Jersey, from like the Jersey Shore, in that area. Um, Around there. I'm trying to remember the exact town. No, he played at Lakewood High School in New Jersey. I remember watching. There was a magazine called Street and Smith. It was a basketball magazine. Yeah, he's from Freehold. Yeah, Freehold. Millstone. Millstone. That's where he's from. The town of Millstone. Really nice town. Um, Jersey Shore, New Jersey. Nice area. I remember reading about him in the Street and Smiths. I believe it was, or it was like some type of college basketball magazine or something, and they were ranking the top players in the nation in the 2003 class, and he was the number two shooting guard in the nation. And I never heard of him at that time. But I look and I'm like, Earl Smith, number two shooting guard, and he's playing at Lakewood. And I'm from a place called Tom's River. So Tom's River is the next town from Lakewood. So I'm like, this kid's playing at right next to me. It was wild. And when I was in high school, I used to watch his brother play. His brother, Chris Smith, who played at Manhattan. They played on the played transferred later to Louisville, won a national title at Louisville under Rick Pitino, and played with his brother on the Knicks. They both played for a AAU team called the Players. If anybody remembers that era of high school basketball, the Players. So there was the Vince Carter players and the Tim Thomas players. The Tim Thomas was like the older team, like the 17U. And man, so it was JR, it was Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, Kyle Lowry's a Philly dude. and it was Sean Singletary, who's another Philly dude. Kyle Lowry went to uh I used to watch Kyle Lowry a lot. Stay prayed up, yo. Kyle Lowry, obviously went to Villanova. Um, Stayed at Villanova for a few years. Probably talking about him if I do another draft. But Kyle Lowry, um, I used to watch him on like channel 8 or something. I used to watch him a lot. They used to play his games. He was at Cardinal Doherty. He was the best point guard in the city of Philadelphia. Philadelphia Catholic League basketball. If you know Philadelphia Catholic League basketball, it's no joke, man. Um, One of my buddies, dude that I know that I've done some basketball stuff with, his name is Bilal Ben. He also played at Villanova with Kyle Lowry. He's friends with Kyle Lowry. They played in high school together. Um, their high school team was really loaded, though. Their high school team was really loaded. Um, yeah, they were a good team. A few of them went to Villanova. Um, Clark Clark also went to Villanova. Their big man, I believe White, um, was a good player as well. Cardinal Doherty, man, that was a fire era of Philadelphia hoops. Um, yeah, Jr. Man, he played at Lakewood for a little bit. Then he ended up transferring to St. Benedict's Prep. St. Benedict's Prep was in Newark, New Jersey, and this was I didn't I spoke about like the prep school thing a little bit more when I spoke about Tyreek Evans. And if you want to watch the video that I did on Isaiah Thomas from the Boston Celtics, I spoke a little bit more about the prep school type thing. That prep school thing was huge. People reclassifying for an extra year to get the grades. J.R. Smith, wanted to do his grades, get a higher grade, do a little bit better academically. Um, that was his dream, man, to go to North Carolina to be like Mike. You know, J.R. Smith always wanted to be like Mike, and I wonder who he considers. I mean, he played with LeBron. You know, so J.R. Smith was gifted, man. J.R. Smith was an all-star level talent. You know what I mean? He was a unique personality. You know, had all like the celebrations and things like that. J.R. Smith was his game mainly consisted of like dunks and threes. So exciting player. Like if you're looking for a player that was a highlight reel, J.R. Smith was a highlight reel and a half. Like you could dunk it however you wanted. You could dunk off one leg, dunk off two legs, jumped off the left leg, jumped off the right leg. Like he was just finishing all types of ways with his dunks, man. Six man of the year with the Knicks. Um, Won a title with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Won a title with the Los Angeles Lakers. Played with Carmelo Anthony in Denver. You know, that's J.R. Swish for you, man. Man, played at St. Benedict's Prep with Alex Galindo. Alex Galindo, one of his best friends. Alex Galindo, I believe he was Puerto Rican. And Alex, he went to Kansas and he transferred. Was it Florida International? Well, he originally started out at Kansas though. But shout out to Alex, good player at St. Benedict's Prep as well. St. Benedict's Prep produced a lot of players. My fun fact: J.R. Smith's brother, his brother played at St. Benedict's Prep with Lance Thomas. Um, David Kubian, Eugene Harvey, who went to who went to Seton Hall. David Kubian went to Marquette. Samardo Samuels played in the NBA, went to Louisville, McDonald's All American. Corey Stokes was another McDonald's All American on that team. Lance Thomas was another McDonald's All American on that team. Corey Stokes to Villanova. Lance Thomas went to Duke. Lance Thomas is originally from up north in New Jersey. Like, yeah, St. Benedict's was crazy, man. And another fun fact, Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley, the coach now at UConn that won the last couple national championships, he was the coach for J.R. Smith at that time. So basketball is a full circle world. Yeah, when J.R. Smith was drafted, he was originally playing with Baron Davis, B Diddy, B Dizzle, in with the New Orleans Hornets when they were the New Orleans Hornets at that time. Darrell Wright, man. Darrell Wright, California kid, similar to J.R. Smith. Definitely a player of his time. Another guy, honestly, like similar story to J.R. Smith. I believe he was probably supposed to go to DePaul, didn't go. He went to South Kent, which was one of those other prep schools at that time. South Kent in Connecticut. I believe Isaiah went to South Kent as well. A few years later, like yeah, the New England prep school thing, the prep school thing in general was just it was a hot thing. A lot of people were doing it. The Royal Wright's a Southern California kid, went to Lerzinger, I believe. Good athlete, man. Good athlete. Might have won a title with the Heat. I'm not sure. Yeah, it did win a title with the Heat in '06. Just stopped playing a few years ago. Uh, he's only 38. Man, had a good career with Miami. I feel like he had some knee injuries, but he went to Lerzinger High School. I don't remember him going to Washington Prep, but Lerzinger, which is the same school. Fun fact: same school that produced some guy named Russell Westbrook, which people probably heard. Russell Westbrook was different. Russell Westbrook, I definitely tell some stories about Russell Westbrook in my time following him in high school basketball. But yeah, him and Russell Westbrook went to the same high school. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they were there at the same time though. Westbrook's a little bit younger. They might have been there at the same time, but I'm not sure. Jameer Nelson. Jameer Nelson. That's another good one. All star. Um, Darrell Wright's brother, Delon Wright, I believe. He's also in the NBA. I believe he played in college at Utah. So shout out to him. Jameer Nelson, man, made it to the NBA Finals with the Orlando Magic. With Orlando, um, played with Dwight. Both got drafted in the first round in the same draft. Jameer Nelson, different path. He was on the smaller side, about 6 feet tall, 5'11" or so. About 6 feet. I'll give him 6 feet. Played at St. Joe's, man. Played at St. Joe's. They had a fantastic run. Um, where they were ranked as high as maybe number one, if not number two. They were undefeated for a lot of the season. And under coach Phil Martelli. Phil Martelli, St. Joe's in the Big Five, Philadelphia basketball. Um, I met Phil Martelli at a basketball camp. And I was like, "Yo, can you give me an autograph?" And he sent me his autograph. I think I had to write down my address or something. I had to do something, and he sent me an autograph. Um, so shout out to Phil Martelli. Shout out to St. Joe. Shout out to Philadelphia basketball or Eastern PA basketball. Jameer Nelson's a dude out of Chester in PA. Same area as Tyreek Evans, right? Jameer Nelson's son just finished up at TCU. Had a season, good career in college. Also played at Delaware, where he was pretty dominant at Delaware as well. Took two teams to the NCAA tournament. Did Jameer Nelson's son. So shout out to him. Jameer Nelson was a good point guard in the NBA. Hard nose, could shoot it, could get to the rim. You know, very successful player. Um, Pavel Pod Podzolkin. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I'm not super familiar with him. Played a few years with the Dallas Mavs, the Fort Worth Flyers. That the G League, the D League. They were in the D League at that time. I don't remember him, but shout out to him. I learned something new. He was from Russia. Big man. I definitely don't remember him. Hmm. He was 7'5". Wow. Shout out to him. Victor Kriapa. Don't really remember him either. Did he play in the NBA? Did not. No, he did. Played a few years. Played for Portland and played for Chicago Bulls. Did average 5.8 points and 4 rebounds for Portland. So shout out to him. Another player I do not remember. Where was he from? He was from Russia as well. Wow. Three Russian players drafted in a row: Pavel, Victor, and Sergey. Sergey. Wow. Russia was hoping. I do not. I do not remember him either. I was slacking on all these Russian players. Played for Portland. So Portland drafted had two players from the same draft from Russia. Played on the same team as well. Delonte West, man. Delonte West, another dude. Delonte, I believe, was from Maryland. From like the Maryland area. Um, man, played with Jameer Nelson at St. Joe's. Had a historic run. They were dominating college basketball out of the Atlantic 10. Had a really good career, really good year. He was a junior, and Jameer was a senior. But man, those two, man, they were a tandem, man. They were a tandem, man. Played with Boston, played with Dallas. Had his struggles, but definitely want to give Delonte West his flowers. Also played with Cleveland with LeBron in Cleveland. So Boston Celtics also drafted Tony Allen, really good player. Feel like he was an all defensive guy. 6-time all defense. Man. Tony Allen was about 6'4" ish. Good athlete out of Oklahoma State. Remember him. Um, yeah, really good player. Athletic, really good defender. Stay prayed up, yo. Um, yeah, Tony Allen was good, man. Tony Allen could really hoop, man. I believe he probably won a title with Boston. On that '08 team. Yeah, that '08 all defensive first team 3 times, all defensive second team 3 times, Big 12 Player of the Year. Probably played with the Twins in college. I don't know if they're the same draft. Next we have Kevin Martin. Kev Martin, man, out of Ohio. He's an Ohio guy. Went to Western Carolina. Was a first round pick. This guy was dropping buckets, man. He was a straight bucket, man. He could have been an all star. I mean, Sac wasn't really like the best team or anything, but his whole career he was just a straight bucket. Um, Sacramento, Houston, Minnesota. Guy was averaging 20 points a game on several occasions. Um, he was what 6'6", probably 6'7". Yeah, look at how many seasons this man averaged 20 a game. 20 a game in '06, '07. The next season 23. The next season 24. The next season 19.8. The next season 21. The next season 23. 17. 14. 19. 20. Career average of 17 points a game. Shot 38% from the three. Career free throw percentage 87%. Man, it was a score and a half. One year shot 92% from the field in 2009, 10, 93% with San Antonio. Every year was in the 80s, except for his rookie year. Kevin Martin could score, dude. Dude could score. Sasha Vujacic, man. Good player from Slovenia. Probably one of the best players from Slovenia ever. Played with Kobe Bryant in the Lakers. I would say he probably won 2 titles with Kobe. Um, Dope player, 6'7". Yeah, 2 titles. 2-time Turkish All Star. Just retired a few years ago in 2019. Really good player with Sasha Vujacic. Playing with Kobe, I'm sure he enjoyed playing with Kobe, and Kobe enjoyed playing with him. Bino Udrich, I think he played for the Jazz. Bino Udrich was a good point guard, bigger point guard, probably at least around 6'3". Um, yeah, good player, tough. In that prime time, yeah, 6'3". Played with Detroit. My bad, Detroit. Yeah, Bino Udrich. He's now a coach with the Wisconsin Herd in the G League, but good player, good point guard. 2 titles with San Antonio. Two Slovenian titles. Legend, I'm sure, over there. Being a Woodridge. Um, David Harrison out of Colorado. Big man, probably like 6'10", maybe maybe a little taller, maybe in 7 feet. I remember David Harrison he was friends with one of the dudes on the Real World. So he would come on the play for Indiana, but he would come on the Real World. Real World was like that MTV show. It was like one of the early like reality TV shows. They had Real World Road Rules. If you remember MTV at that time. Anderson Varejao, another Brazilian player, man. Brazil was hooping, man. Um, Played in Cleveland. He probably won a title. Maybe won a title with Cleveland. I believe he won at least one title in his NBA career. Could be wrong. Mm, no. Darn. He just missed out on the titles. No, he didn't win the title. 2016. Hmm. Says he played with Cleveland in 2016. So wouldn't that be a title? I'm confused on. He played with Cleveland and Golden State, and those are the teams getting to the finals. I'm so confused. Oh, he got waived. Okay. He got waived in February of 2016. Oh, so then he went the Golden State Warriors for the rest of the season, and they lost. They ended up losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the team he got traded from. Ah, weird. Good player though. Good defensive player. Jackson Vaughan from Lebanon. Oh, shout out to Lebanon. That's fire. Ah, shout out to Lebanon. That's fire. Also played in the NBA. He was 6'10". Played for the Phoenix Suns and the New Orleans Hornets. I do not remember him. That is. Oh wow. He died in a swimming pool in California. He had an um enlarged heart and some other things going on. Wow. Shout out to him though. Rest in peace. Prayers for his loved ones in Jesus' name. Darn. Oh, he was American born though. Oh, he was an American dude. Okay. Peter John Ramos, Puerto Rican, big man. Played a few years in the NBA. 7'3.5". Oof, big man. Played for Washington. Yeah, I feel like he's a. I would say you. I would consider him a Puerto Rican legend. Um, like yeah, he played in Puerto Rico as well. Yeah, I just want to see this FIBA stuff. Yeah, FIBA American Cup silver, Pan American silver. Yeah, shout out to Peter John Ramos, Lionel Chalmers. Mentioned him in the last broadcast when I spoke on the last broadcast when I spoke on and if you jump in here, feel free to like or subscribe or ask any questions. Um, Lionel Chalmers, I mentioned him in the last played at Xavier with David West and Romain Sato. Uh, Played with the Clippers. Good point guard. If I'm correct, he's from New York, from Albany, New York. Yep. Man, shout out to him. Donta Smith. Slightly remember him. Can't really speak too much to it, but slightly remember him. Played at Southeastern Illinois. What? I'm not too sure where that school is. Okay, it's a junior college. Wow, that's pretty fire. Came from junior college. Dang. Don't really remember him. Did he play in the NBA at all? I think he did. Yeah, played for the Atlanta Hawks. Had a good overseas career. Just stopped playing last year. He's from Kentucky. Nice. Get drafted at junior college. I've never heard of that particular school that he was at. Um, maybe I have though. Maybe I have. I used to mess with a lot of those schools, Kaskaskia and Cat Kaskia, and some of those schools in the Illinois junior colleges. So shout out to Illinois Junior College. Um, used to work with players who came out of that Illinois Junior College. Helped them get some scholarships. One guy ended up going to Houston. Um, a guy named Kamel Broughton. Another guy ended up going to D2 MPA. Another guy I think I worked with went D2 as well. Um, Andre Emmett. I didn't know he was a second round pick, but Andre Emmett was a really good player in college at Texas Tech. Good player in the NBA. I feel like he passed away recently. He was like 6'5", good scorer in college. Really good scorer in college. I don't want to say he passed away if he didn't though. Yeah, it was a yeah, he passed away in 2019 after being shot. Hmm. God bless his family, friends, and loved ones. Was a D League All Star. Yeah, he played for the Memphis Grizzlies, the New Jersey Nets. Yeah, shout out to Andre Emmett, man. Texas Tech legend, man. Red Raiders, baby. The Red Raiders won the NCAA dunk contest. Antonio Burks out of Memphis. Uh, this is 2004 draft. I believe he played at Memphis with DeJuan Wagner. I didn't cover the 2022 draft, but DeJuan Wagner out of New Jersey legend. Shout out to Wags, father of DJ Wagner. Royale Livy, um, who was drafted with his former college teammate Luau Dang. Royale Ivy played at Texas. Also played at Blair Academy with Luau Dang. Um, Luau Dang, I believe, was the number 2 player in the country in the 2003 high school class. Number 1 was obviously LeBron James. Both played at Blair Academy. If you look at some of the videos, high school videos, I was at a tournament filming at Blair Academy. They had a big time high school tournament. Will Riley, who's one of the top players in the upcoming class, was there. I didn't get any footage of him, but I got footage of a lot of really good up and coming players. They have Deron Rippey Jr., who's a top 2026 player. So you could check some of those highlights in the shorts and stuff. Chris Duhon out of Duke. Chris Duhon, Duke legend. He might have won a title with Duke. Played in the NBA for the Knicks. Played for the Lakers. Really good defender. Duhon, I believe where's Duhon from? Illinois. Oh, he's from Louisiana. Good player. Yeah, I think he won a national title. Yeah, national title in 2021. All American. First team All ACC. Yeah, he was an ACC legend, bro. 38th pick. I mean, he got drafted. And he had a good NBA career. So shout out to Chris Duhon. Albert Marialis, don't really remember him. Um, I don't know. Didn't play in the NBA, but 6'9". Had a long career overseas though. Shout out to him. Won a silver medal in the U20 Spanish national. Justin Reed. I don't know if I remember him. Played for Ole Miss. Played for the Boston Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Played in the D League. The D League, if y'all don't remember, the D League, G League now was called the D League back then. Justin Reed, yeah, I don't remember him. I'm trying to look him up, but I mean, off the top of the dome, doesn't sound familiar. If anybody in the chat remembers him, feel free to let me know your thoughts. But don't remember him. Looking him up. Nah, I don't remember. Oh, he passed away too. Dang. Rest in peace. God bless his family, friends, and loved ones. Wonder what happened. David Young. Cancer. Blood cancer. Wow. 35 years old. Darn it. Victor Sanakide. Sanakize from Georgia. Shout out to Georgia. Georgia, the country, that is. He played for Globe Tech Junior College in New York City. Globe Tech. Is that school still around? I hope it is. Like, I'm not trying to clown. Didn't play in the NBA, but Georgia League All-Star, slam dunk champion. How tall was he? 6'8". Wow, played at Globe Tech. Man, I remember Globe Tech back in the day. I don't know if they're still around. Was a private for-profit college. No, they're not around. Ceasing operation in 2016. Wow. Remember them though. Definitely remember them boys. Globe Tech in New York, New York. Trevor Ariza. Now that is a steal for the number 43 pick. Trevor Ariza, UCLA guy, 1 year of college. I believe he has a son that's a player. Man, that dude lasted in the NBA for a while. Played with the Knicks, played with the Lakers. I believe he won a title, right? 2009 with the Lakers. Played with Houston. Man, he played on so many teams because he was such a good defender, man. Such a good defender. He should have probably been on some all defensive teams. Probably underrated for what he did in the NBA. Tim Pickett. Shout out to Trevor Reed's a really good value pick at number 43 in the second round. Tim Pickett. Yeah, I feel like he was like a strong two guard. 6'4". Yep. Tim Pickett. Ooh. Fire. Fire. I don't think he played. Yeah, he didn't play in the NBA. Had a good career overseas though. Long career overseas. Wow. Tim Pickett. I feel like he was a big time high school player too. Power guard or something. Tim Pickett was like a power, strong two guard. Yep. Yep. Tim Pickett. Shout out to Tim Pickett. Florida State, man. He was getting buckets, man. I used to love watching ACC Sunday night hoops. Ah, man. Bernard Robinson. Yeah, playing for the Bobcats. I feel like he was a good athlete. Michigan, University of Michigan. Played with the Bobcats and the Nets. Yeah. Shout out to Bernard Robinson, good athlete. What was he like 6'7", 6'8", 6'6"? From Korea, Hush Jin. I feel like I remember him. He was tall, like 7'4" or so, 7'3". Played with the Trailblazers. One of the first Korean players, maybe the first Korean. Definitely one of the first. Yeah, the first South Korean and the only South Korean to ever play in the NBA. There you go. Showing Jin. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Korea. Actually been to Korea before. Listen to a lot of K-pop in my life. That might be a conversation. Pape Sao, big man, African, Senegalese cat, Cal State Fullerton. Played in the NBA for the Raptors. Big man, 6'10". Yeah, shout out to him. Remember the name, Ricky Minor. Uh, remember the name vaguely. I don't know if he played in the NBA. No, but vaguely remember the name. Also had a good career overseas. Euro Cup champion, Ukrainian League. Speaking of Ukraine, Sherry Leshchuk. Sorry if I'm sorry, Leischchuk. Um, Part of the Ukrainian national team, and definitely sending condolences and respect to the people of Ukraine for everything that they've been through. God bless in Jesus' name, and just really wanting some good times for the people of Ukraine. Spinolis, Vasilius Spinolis, another guy that I don't really remember, but legend though. EuroLeague MVP, Final Four MVP, like, whew, great career. I don't know why he didn't come to the NBA. I don't think he played in the NBA at all. No, he did. He played in the NBA for one season. I feel like I might remember that name. Christian Drager. Do not remember him. 6'9". Was drafted by the Nets. Didn't play in the NBA. Romain Sato. The last player from that Xavier team, as I mentioned, Lionel Chalmers, um, David West. I don't think Sato played in the NBA, but my African brother from Central African Republic, still pretty cool. I don't know how many people are in the Central African Republic. I would say 2 million people. That's just a guess. 5 million people. So to make it, get drafted in the NBA, have the career that he did, shout out to Romain Sato. Shout out to that Xavier team at that time. It was awesome in the Atlantic 10. Really enjoyed watching them play. Matt Freege, really good player, really good college player. I feel like he was a really good high school player as well. 6'10" shooter. Played in the league. Really like a high school, college legend. One of those guys could shoot it, and it was one of those things like Matt Freege again, one of those kind of shooter kind of guys that um, I feel like he probably could have benefited playing in this time where threes were a little bit more popular. Ricky Paulding out of Missouri, good athlete, probably like 6'4", 6'5", it says here, from Renaissance in Detroit. Shout out to Renaissance High School. Um, who's another good player at Renaissance? My man who dunked on LeBron. Ricky Paulding out of Mizzou, man. Shout out to him, man. Didn't end up playing in the NBA, but shout out to Ricky Paulding, man. Um, Renaissance High School. I'm trying to Crawford. Joe Crawford, I believe, went to Renaissance High School, right? Yeah, Joe Crawford. Did his brother go to Renaissance High School? He did not. But I remember Joe Crawford coming out of high school. Joe Crawford went to Kentucky. Played at Kentucky. I believe he played with Rondo. Yeah, McDonald's All American, big time. Yeah, right. Freshman class featured Rondo Randolph Morris, who was another McDonald's All American. I believe Randolph Morris played on the Atlanta Celtics with Josh Smith and Dwight Howard. So they were big. They were basically Ramel Bradley. I feel like Ramel Bradley was a really good defender at Kentucky. Joe Crawford played with the Knicks. His brother Jordan Crawford was the kid who dunked on LeBron when he was in high school. Jordan Crawford also played in. I feel like he's a good singer. Played at Xavier. Jordan Crawford did. Uh, yeah, he played at Communication and Media Arts in Detroit, and then played at Hargrave Military Academy. Again, that prep school era. Played at Indiana. I do not remember him playing at Indiana at all. Yeah, he averaged 20 points per game with Xavier. The Jordan Crawford. I feel like he was like a good singer or something. Shout out to Jordan Crawford, man. I'm sure they have the video online when he dunked on LeBron at the LeBron James camp. Um, another great name, blast from the past, Luis Flores, man, Dominican legend, New York City guy, played at Manhattan. Who's the coach at Manhattan at that time? Bobby, Bobby, some, uh, John Gallagher was the coach. Okay. Yeah, Luis Flores was oh man, he was a bucket in college, man. This guy was a bucket in college, man. Played in the NBA for a little bit. Manhattan's all-time leading scorer, 22 points per game. Yeah, the guy was a legend. Legend at Manhattan. I used to love. Oh man, I used to watch some guys play. Israeli League legend. MAC Player of the Year, 2003, 2004. Haggerty Award. I don't know. Was that the best two award or something? Oh, the best player in New York City area. I've never heard of that award though. Frank Haggerty. Shout out to Frank Haggerty. Baseball star from Long Island. Played Chaminade and St. John's University. He was in the military. Shout out to Frank Haggerty and his loved ones. God bless in Jesus' name, amen. For Frank Haggerty. Marcus Duhit. I never heard of him either. He's from Syracuse, New York. Played at Providence. I don't remember him. Sergei Karolov, another Russian player. At least 3 Russian players, if not 4 Russian players were drafted in this draft. So shout out to the Russian players. Sergei Karolov, don't remember him. Blake Steph, yeah, Gonzaga. He was what, 5 point guard? 6'4" point guard. From Oregon. Yeah, Blake Steph. Dang, he didn't play in the league. He became a professional poker player. Wow. Rashad Wright from Georgia. What was he, like 6'5" guard? 6'2". Okay. I feel like I remember Rashad Wright a bit. Yeah, that's the 2004 draft right there. Good draft. This was the beginning of my era. Yeah, shout out to them, man. Shout out to Rashad Wright. Good draft. Good draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and everything, what you thought about this draft. A lot of several all-stars, good value pick in the second round in Trevor Ariza. Really good player in J.R. Smith and Josh Smith, good athletes, good era, and a lot of prep school basketball. So I would say those were some of the themes. God bless in Jesus' name, amen.